is the BS.
So as we get into Sunday, as we just go down quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end, where are we at with quarterback? A lot of low-scoring games, at least according to Vegas. Not a lot of high-flying games this week.
Yeah, and in regards to that Thursday night game, another game going under in primetime, if you like to bet totals, just wait for primetime games, blindly bet the under, and make yourself some money. 17-7 this year to the under for primetime games. So keep that in mind.
Especially on Thursday nights. Those are like cursed
Especially
nights.
on Thursday.
It's
I got burned last week because I took the under for Jags Saints, which I thought defensive battle, and those teams put up a bunch of points. So nothing's universal in betting or in fantasy, but the under in primetime typically hits. At quarterback, I have if you're going the daily fantasy route, an expensive option and a cheap option for this week, and also someone to keep an eye on. So Dak Prescott should have himself a good day. He has typically performed well off the bye, and the Cowboys are off a bye week. The St. Louis Rams, the LA Rams are, they pack a punch up front with Aaron Donald. They do struggle in the secondary, so CeeDee Lamb should be able to get loose. I like Dak to have a big game in this one, assuming that Donald doesn't eat him for lunch. And then Sam Darnold is someone I want to keep my eye on as well, filling in for Brock Purdy this weekend. I don't think it's much of a downgrade. Honestly, you can make a case it's an upgrade. We'll find out on Sunday, but he should be able to put up some points because Brock Purdy had become a startable fantasy option. So why not Sam Darnold? And if you're playing daily fantasy, he's dirt cheap. And I would keep my eye on Kyler Murray. He's off the injury report for the first time this year. Now, they haven't said that he's going to play. So don't misconstrue what I'm saying. But if he does, the Ravens are tough defensively, but Kyler Murray is a load to deal with, and he's going to be excited to get back out there. So those are three guys I've got my eye on.
Brock Purdy did practice in a limited fashion yesterday, so he would have to, because they're coming off that short week, he would have to clear it by, Saturday, I guess? That's tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. So there was a similar timeline last year that reporters have followed with Kenny Pickett, and he was forced to miss a game for that same reason. These NFL teams, the league itself, so careful when it comes to concussions. Purdy got rocked, and it wasn't even reported right away. So this is a situation where I highly doubt he plays. But, yeah, definitely want to keep your eye on that.
That Sunday night game with the Bears and the Chargers, I don't know the status on Justin Fields, but whoever that dude is that played last week.
Tyson Bagent.
I'm in. So in this game, with a 46.5 total, according to Vegas, that guy, he didn't look like that was his first game. I mean, that guy came out there, he was pretty damn good. So I like taking that guy because he's going to be cheap, and then just pair him up with DJ Moore. I like that pairing this week.
Did you happen to hear what Tyson Bagent after the game, after that win, what he was asked, if this didn't work out for you and you didn't end up on an NFL team, because he was an undrafted player. There's no guarantee he was going to end up anywhere. What would you be doing? And he said, I would have taken a teaching job, and I would have gotten really into CrossFit. So I'd say his life is trending in the right direction.
He's like that Ricky Williams conversation we just had. He wants to be a messenger. Screw all that money. I want to be a messenger in life.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with
definitely, that. Definitely, you leave some dollars on the table.
All right, running back. Where are we at, Brandon?
All right, let's look the way of I'm liking the Ravens this week across the board. So there's going to be a theme there. Gus Edwards has really taken off. He had his best game of the week last week. No reason he can't build off of that going up against a much softer defense in the Arizona Cardinals. Also, Kareem Hunt with Jerome Ford potentially on the shelf this weekend. I like what I'm seeing there. He's really good in terms of the receiving game. That's always been where his bread is buttered. And PJ Walker at quarterback, that guy only knows how to dump the ball off the running back. So Kareem Hunt should have himself a nice day. And then Ramondre Stevenson going up against the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins run defense is suspect at best. Stevenson's been catching a lot of passes the last 2 weeks. Quietly, the New England Patriots seem like they have some sort of rhythm offensively, and it all starts with Stevenson.
The Dameon Pierce play this week is supposed to be a hot pick for the Houston Texans. They're in Carolina to play the Panthers. The problem is, and I've got him on my big league, and I haven't played him since week 1 because he hasn't done much. He hasn't done anything. I mean, with C.J. Stroud being able to throw the ball and them actually have a quarterback, he's kind of not even a part of the offense anymore. Then they throw Singletary in the mix. Like, dude, what are you doing? This guy was a beast last year. You're screwing people like me over because I'd like to start him, especially this week, but I just can't do it, even though he's a hot pick.
Yeah, if you've got better options, I'm looking away from Dameon Pierce. I hate to see him get outworked by Devin Singletary. I've been trashing on that guy since he got drafted. I don't think Singletary's all that talented. It's such a limited upside player. So if he's out playing Dameon Pierce, then we've got problems. And Dameon Pierce doesn't catch passes, so you're not going to get bailed out there. Yeah, it's a good matchup, but I'm just not buying that he's a huge part of the offense right now. I think this is a steer clear situation.
All right, wide receiver, Brandon.
Okay, well, I'm going to go back to the Ravens. I like Zay Flowers. He has been in the range of 8 to 18 fantasy points pretty much every single week. Definitely is the apple of Lamar Jackson's eye when it comes to that wide receiver position. It was good to get Odell Beckham Jr. going, but I think that more than that, taking him to the next level, it really opens things up for the rookie. And how about a sleeper? If I gave you Sam Darnold, let's give you someone he's throwing the ball to. Brandon Ayuk is the obvious. George Kittle, sure, he'll get his. But Jawan Jennings is a factor in this offense when Deebo Samuel doesn't play, so I would keep my eye on him as well. And then if you want just low-hanging fruit, A.J. Brown has been going ballistic every single week. That Commanders defense, not very good. They might be able to keep it close. That plus 6.5 for the Commanders is intriguing to me. But if we're just talking fantasy, A.J. Brown should have himself a nice day. And I know it has Devonta Smith fantasy managers feeling all kinds of queasy.
What about Julio Jones, who's back? He got a pass last week.
That's nice.
Very, very interesting stuff. If you're looking, in my opinion, for the game pop of the week, the Cincinnati-San Francisco game, whether it's Sam Darnold or Brock Purdy, nonetheless, I don't see 43.5. I'm taking the over on that, hands down, without a doubt. San Francisco's had a rough last 2 weeks. They got to come out there and make a statement, whoever's that quarterback. And Cincinnati's obviously got firepower. They've got to make a statement. They've got to do something. That game has everything to go over 43.5, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think it starts like a Super Bowl where both teams, it's a feeling out process. It's a heavyweight fight where you're not going to see touchdowns right out of the gate. Probably at the end of the first quarter, if you take the over, you're going to feel pretty ugly about it because it's going to be like 3-3. And then by the end of the game, these two teams are they're such well-oiled machines offensively. The Bengals really got going before the bye. The fact that they get a break, they're feeling themselves. Joe Burrow should be at his peak form. And then the 49ers are one of the toughest outs in their home building. So this should be back and forth, but I would wait until the second half to wait for that explosion. So if you don't see anything right out of the gate, don't freak out. And
my darling this year, what a great pickup off the waiver wire is Rice. Was it Rashee Rice?
Rashee Rice, yeah.
That guy's the guy. He's a beast, and he's becoming – he's getting just as many targets as Travis Kelce with the Chiefs. Mahomes likes him. And they play Denver. And they, supposedly the line there is 47, so they're supposed to be putting up some points there. All right, quickly, tight end, Brandon.
Let's go a little sneaky here. Trey McBride is now the starting tight end for the Arizona Cardinals. Zach Ertz is on IR. They throw to the tight end a lot in Arizona, so I think that that's a position that we can target. Also, Taysom Hill seems to be getting real involvement in this Saints offense, not just gadgety stuff. He's actually had 12 targets over the last 2 weeks, so if he's going to get real looks, he's a guy I want in my fantasy lineup, and it's not just a gimmick anymore.
Yeah, and if you are looking just to close out with a defense, the Falcons you should be able to get pretty cheap.
Boom.
You
nailed it.
Yeah,
that was the one.
Yeah, they're playing Tennessee at Tennessee, and they have a mixture of Will Levis in his first game in the NFL and Malik Willis, Roswell, Georgia kid, Roswell Hornets, go Hornets, that will be under center. The line there is 35. That's pretty low. So I see the Falcons.
Yeah.
And the Falcons actually have a pretty good defense. You can't run on that team. So
it'll be an interesting matchup. Those teams match up well with each other, but anytime you go with the platoon quarterback situation in the NFL, that's very mid-level college vibes.
Right.
So I would definitely lean towards the Falcons this weekend.
On 98 Rock.